everyone. It's Dr. Heather Tucker coming to you with another awesome message. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Um, the question is, how do you see yourself, right? Um, how do you see yourself and how do other people see you? Does it match up to be the same or is it completely different? Now, why am I even talking about this first and foremost? A couple of reasons. The first reason is that a majority of us can experience imposter syndrome. And I mean, I have this down packed even when I was working for the military and even starting in my initial journey as a coach, because who I was and who I thought I was and who other people thought I was not the same person, right? And even going on this journey of coaching, we think that we have to have everything perfect. The reality is that our greatest vulnerability, our greatest power is in our imperfections and embracing that and owning that. So, this is kind of the reason why this made me feel like this was such a good topic for now. And a lot of times, how we feel about ourselves, like for example, if you look in the mirror, and I mean, I used to look in the mirror and say, oh my gosh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And now I look in the mirror like, ooh, this is awesome. You look good. How you doing today? What's going on? Like, I want to date you. Do you want to date you? Right? Okay. Now I know that some of the answers to these questions might be, well, you know what, Dr. Heather, I don't necessarily feel that good about myself. I do look at my flaws more than I look at what's amazing about me. And sometimes I don't like that. And I get it because that's exactly how I felt when I felt that way. And what I found is just by changing the way that we look at us, and first of all, getting to know all about everything that makes you unique and falling in love with it all over again is totally possible. Totally, absolutely possible. Another question is, why does this even matter? Why does it even matter what I think about myself? The reality is that the more that you are all about and for you, right, and loving every part of you, the easier it's going to be for people to love you, right? It's almost like we expect our happiness and our joy to come from things external. But your happiness and your joy is an inside and above job. The reason that it creates even more chaos or more difficulty if we don't really fully love ourselves is because then that begins to create a conflict, right? If God and our Heavenly Father above have said that we are a masterpiece worth far more than rubies itself, one of the most amazing creation, well, then there's a conflict if we don't feel that way. So, what makes us get to the point where we don't feel that way? Maybe we've gone through a lot of difficult situations. Maybe if you're like me, you had a lot of very chaotic, intimate relationships. And it's actually our intimate relationships that are the biggest reflection and the mirror of what's going on inside. Maybe, people tease you when you were growing up. And a lot of times we don't realize that the little things, the things that we think are little when we're younger, begin like that are minor, actually can end up being major problems when we're older. And for those of you who are on the journey of entrepreneurship, our businesses, your business is an extension of you. So how you feel about yourself, just like how I felt about myself, I was so aware as how it trickled into the business, right? So when I changed that perception of me for me, right? Because it's not about what other people think about us. It's mostly about how do we feel about ourselves, right? And I get that a lot of us have gone through total crazy situations where even other people made us feel like we weren't good enough. And maybe even we took that on, like, we're not good enough. Who are we to do this? Who's going to listen to me, right? You listen to you, right? You tap into everything that you've called to be, right? We have to be able to sometimes let go of who we think that we are so we can really step into everything that God's called us to be. So pay attention. Okay, here's a couple things to be able to help shift this for you, right? Pay attention to the things that you say, the things that you think, and the things that you do, right? Our thoughts become things, just like the words that we say can become things too. Our behaviors, whether they're wanted behaviors or several unwanted behaviors, are often an indication of what's going on internally, right? So be cognizant of even the things that you say and that you vocalize. It's easy, yes, I know, to get caught up in the complaining, the bitching, the moaning, the whining. This is not going right. This is not going right, right? Energy flows where attention goes. So if we're putting all of our attention into what's not going right, what are we going to get more of? The things that aren't going right. Yet, if we change the way that we look at things and focus on what are we grateful for, what is actually going right, right? What are the victories that I want to be able to highlight? Because it's so easy to highlight what's going wrong, just like it's so easy to highlight and amplify when we're mad, but it's difficult to be able to highlight and recognize when we're happy, right? Negative energy is a lot stronger. And the more positive current energy that you create, the easier it's going to be to input that information and to create that future. So, yes, number one, pay attention to the things you say and do. This is another good one. Okay. A lot of times we're in the business of being busy. We're like, we have a busy business. Like, people would call me, oh, you busy? Yeah, I'm always busy. Well, when we're too busy, we miss stuff, right? And a lot of the busyness sometimes can create stress, anxiety, overwhelm. What other emotions you want to throw down in the comments that it can lead to, right? Stress, anxiety, overwhelm, all of that is contagious. So our energy of being stressed and overwhelmed can lead into difficulty in relationships, even with communicating with our family, right? So the question is, or not the question, but actually the statement that I have for you is that when we're too busy, we miss stuff. When we're too busy in our business, sometimes we can miss stuff that's going on at the home. Or when we're too busy in our home, sometimes we can miss stuff that's going on in the business. So the secret is to fall in love with the journey and enjoy the process. So of course, who won the race, the tortoise or the hare, right? Know when to be the tortoise, know when to amp up a little bit like the hare, but mostly be the tortoise because the tortoise always wins, very present in each step towards his final destination. Whereas the hare was so busy running, like, oh, let me take a break and take a nap. And then all of a sudden missed out on the race because he wasn't paying attention. And he was too busy that he was missing the power of being present. It is your presence power. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this, it's your presence power that is the best present, that is the best gift that you can offer someone. That's in terms of your communication, in terms of your listening, right? And a lot of times we get caught up in the do. This is the reason why I love our programs, because I teach how to be everything that we've been called to be and become. Because we get so caught up in the do, and we're doing things and we're spinning our wheels and we become exhausted, depleted, maybe not even feeling the value of what we're doing, right? The secret is to be. They don't teach you how to be. The question is, how do you want to be when you're doing? How do you want to be when you're doing your business? How do you want to be when you're interacting with your family? How do you want to be in all these situations that you find yourself in? Do you want to be stressed out, overwhelmed, doing? Or do you want to be in a place of ease and comfort and trusting and calm and peace as you're doing? Which is going to lead to the more fruitful result? The stress and doing and having a never-ending checklist? Or the ease of putting in effort, enjoying the blessings, putting in a little more effort, enjoying the blessings, taking that time off to make sure that you can be able to connect to the people you want to connect with, get back on it, do a little bit, like ease. Busy or ease? The hare or the tortoise? You pick. Which one is good for you? Now, this whole part of being is not easy. One of the reasons why this pandemic hit home for a lot of people is because it almost shut everything down for people to be forced to pay attention of what's going on around them when they're in the being state. And I know for me, oftentimes I would go, so I would never have to be with myself and my own thoughts and all of the chaos. So we go focus so much on the future, right? That we forget to be present. The presence power is a critical piece in our success. So it's about being everything that you've been called to be. So therefore you can do everything that you've been called to do. So you can have everything that you've been called to have in your life. And it's totally possible. How? Healing the past. Healing the mind, the body, creating a renewed mind and a healed heart. So therefore the mind and the heart are all on one accord in the gut. Mind, body, soul, all on one accord. Have you ever had a situation where my mind says this, my heart says this? My mind says this, my heart says this, my gut says this. They're never talking, they're never communicating, but you want to be that one person. So therefore, who you are, who you think you are, and who other people think you are is the exact same person. And it really doesn't even matter what other people think, because you already know that you've already unleashed your greatness. And you've let the line and lioness out for all the world to see. So keep shining. And remember, it's okay to just be. All right, until next time, make sure you subscribe to this video. Comment below. I want to hear, like, in the chats, like, how this was for you. Would love to know how this was. Share it. Sharing is caring. You feel like there's someone else that needs this message. And if you're ready to be able to go to another level, make sure you reach out to us so therefore we can support you in getting there. And until next time. Peace.